Hello everyone, welcome to BISP Solutions, and I'm going to take session on journal ledger in Oracle Fusion. So we are starting with the first session today, and we will take first topic as introduction to enterprise structure. So first of all, what is the need for enterprise structure? In Oracle Fusion applications have been designed to ensure that your enterprise can be mature to meet legal and management objectives. The decisions about your implementation of Oracle Fusion applications are affected by your industry, business unit requirements for autonomy, business and accounting policies, business functions performed by business units, and optionally centralized in shared service centers and locations of facilities. So these are the some factors which affect the Oracle Fusion application implementation decisions. And on the basis of this only, your enterprise structure is defined. And enterprise structure is very important in Oracle Fusion to design because this is a topmost thing which we define and under there hierarchies come into flow. So this is enterprise structure. Now every enterprise has three fundamental structure that describe its operations and provide a basis for reporting is legal, managerial, and functional. In Oracle Fusion, these structures are implemented using charts of accounts and organization hierarchies. Many alternative hierarchies can be implemented and used for reporting. You are likely to have one primary structure that organizes your business into divisions, business units, and departments. So, for the better understanding of the enterprise structure, here is the diagram which shows the hierarchy. The first thing is we define as enterprise, then there is a division, then there is a primary ledger, then there is a legal entity, and after legal entity is business unit, and at the last is inventory organization. This is the process flow, and this is the introduction to the enterprise structure. So I'm not going into the details, but in the upcoming sessions we will see all these things one by one in detail and how we can configure the same in the Fusion application. Now moving to the next slide. So here is the some of the example like what is employees data? That employee data cover employees records, payables, transaction, etc. Then registration data. It contains company registration records for tax reporting. Then business transaction data. It includes purchase order, invoice, payments, sales order, billing, receipts, etc. Then the next is warehouse inventory data. It includes stock, inventory, and transaction related information in it. So how this data are going to map in the Oracle Fusion application and its workflow. So here you can see the mapping of the organization data in Oracle Fusion application. Like we have seen employees data, it will be mapped with the enterprise at the enterprise level. Then registration data, it will be mapped with the legal entity. Then business transaction, it will be mapped with the business unit in the hierarchy. And at the last, warehouse related data are mapped to the inventory organization in the hierarchy. So basically, this is the mapping. This is how the mapping is done. Now, here are some basic points related to enterprise structure. Like first, only one enterprise, that is business group, is allowed in Oracle Fusion application instance. First is this, then the next is divisions. Divisions are introduced in the business structure which will be reporting to the enterprise. These are logical segregation of the business or verticals. It's an optional element in the module. So when we see this hierarchy, the first thing is enterprise as we discussed. The next is division, but it is optional in nature. It is not mandatory to create a division in the Fusion. If it is required, you can create. If it is not required, you can skip and directly go to the primary ledger part. Fine. So therefore here it is written that it is optional element in the module. Now the next is legal entity and primary ledger. These two are the most important element in the structure. You can say that it is the heart of the structure. They own the whole liability and asset of an organization. This is the reason why we say it's the heart of a structure. So you can see in the hierarchy here that if you will design uh, division, or if you're not required, you can skip the same. The next is primary ledger and legal entity. So I'm talking about this two in the hierarchy, that these are the most important one in the hierarchy. Fine. Then after that, there is a business unit. Business units are created to record the real-time transactions. Then after that, there is an inventory organization, which maintains the warehouse data in the Oracle Fusion. And one more point which we keep in mind is, under the enterprise, we can maintain LDG, that is Legislative Data Group. And what is Legislative Data Group? Legislative Data Group is used to compare data from different countries operating under one enterprise. And this LDG should be created at country level and mapped with the legal entity. So basically, these are some points related to enterprise structure. So we have seen the introduction to the enterprise structure and what are the hierarchy and what are the components in it, like enterprise division, primary ledger, legal entity, business unit, and inventory organization. This is the flow and how we can map the data and what are the points which we should keep in mind related to this enterprise structure. And so this was a basic introduction to the enterprise structure. Now we will move to the next topic for today is the understanding the reference data set or sharing. So here it is, understanding reference data sharing. So what is reference data sharing? This term is commonly used in the Oracle Fusion. Fine, and the most important thing. So what is the reference data sharing? Is the it facilitates sharing of a configuration data such as jobs and payment terms across organizational divisions or business units. You define reference data set and determine how common data is shared or partitioned across business entity to avoid duplication and reduce maintenance effort. Depending on the requirement, specific or common, each business unit can maintain its data at a central location using a set of values either specific to it or shared by other business unit. So basically, this reference data sharing, as its name it is coming sharing, it helps us to share common data or partition a common data across the business entity, and it helps us to avoid the duplication and also helps to reduce the maintenance efforts. Fine, so this is reference data sharing. You can create separate sets and subsets for each business unit. Alternatively, you can create common sets or subsets to enable sharing reference data between several business units without duplicating the reference data. Now, the following figure illustrates the reference data sharing method. The user can access the data assigned to a specific set in a particular business unit as well as access the data assigned to the common set. So this is the diagram. So what is the use of the reference data set here is, like here this is a user and say it has a access to UK business unit. In the hierarchy we have seen the business unit after legal entity. So this person or user has access to the UK business unit, and this UK business unit contain UK location set. Fine. Basically, in reference data set, there are already seeded sets like enterprise and common, and you can also create a custom reference data set. So this UK location set is the custom one, and you can see it also have an access to a common set. So this is already seeded in the Oracle, this reference data set. So this UK location set contains the location like London, Oxford, and Cambridge. So this person has the access to business unit, and this business unit contains the reference data set UK location set. It has the access to location London, Oxford, and Cambridge. In the same manner as it has also access to common set, it has access to the location like Tokyo, Paris, and Berlin as well as. So this is how reference data set can be used. So what it does, it helps us to avoid the duplication. Like we need to only assign the set to the user rather than giving the access to first to Tokyo, then to Paris, and to Berlin. So what in a reference data set we have done, we have combined all the three location into common set, and here also all the three location in the UK location set, and we have given the access to the user by giving the reference data set. to it. So it reduces our effort also. So it helps us in grouping the common data access to the user. So this is what is reference data set 2. Now the next thing is, as I've already told, there is a common reference data set and there is a custom reference data set which you can create. So common reference data set is a common reference data set is available as the default set, which can be assigned to several business units sharing the same reference data. For commonly used data such as currencies, you can use common reference data set and assign it to multiple business unit in various countries that use the same currency. Like there is a business unit which uses dollar as well as pound also. So what you can do is you can combine dollar as well as pound into one reference data set and you can assign that reference data set to a particular business unit. Fine. And then in case where the default sets can't be assigned to an entity, you can create specific set. The data set visible on the transactional page depends upon the sharing method used to share reference data. So this is the common reference data set. Apart from this, there is one custom reference data set as well. Custom reference data set is created according to the specific requirement of enterprise. Like we have seen in this diagram, there was a common set which contains 3 locations. Apart from this, we have created our own 3 locations and combined them into UK location set. This is what is custom reference data which we have created in this, which we have seen in this diagram. So this is how it works. Now moving to another example for the custom reference data set here, like how custom reference data set is assigned to business unit. So you can see like there is a payment terms of net 45 and as well as payment term of net 30. So business unit located in US uses both net 30 as well as net 45 payment term while creating or generating its invoice. Same for business unit located in Canada. It also uses both the payment of net 30 as well as net 45 while generating its invoice. And apart from that, there is one more business unit in France which uses only net 30. So for that, what you can do is for business unit located in US and Canada, as both the payment terms are required 45 and 30. So what you can do is you can create a reference data set as the name of reference data set North America, and you can assign payment term both net 45 and net 30 to it and assign this reference data set to the business unit so that this business unit can access both the payment term net 45 as well as net 30. And for this business unit located in France, as only net 30 is required, so what you can do is you can make another reference data set with the name reference data set Europe here, and you can assign payment term net 30 to this reference data set and assign this reference data set to the business unit located in France. So this is how reference data set can be used and very useful in the Fusion application, as it reduces lots of duplication as well. So this was the one more example related to reference data set. So reference data sets are logical groups of reference data that various transactional entity can use depending on the business context. You can get started using either a common or enterprise set depending on your implementation requirement. You can also create maintain additional reference data set while continuing to use the common reference data set as well. So as we have already discussed, there are 2 types. One which is already provided by the Oracle, which contain common reference data set and enterprise set, and one other one you can create a custom reference data set as well as per the requirement. Now, reference data set in Oracle Fusion Cloud allows sharing and partitioning of data element. This happens at the business unit level, as we have seen in this example also. When we have created reference data set, we have assigned it to the business unit. So it works at the business unit level. Fine. Now, this happens at a business unit level. Now, there are 3 types of reference data set. Common data element with common reference data set will be available for all business unit, irrespective of the reference data set assigned to the business unit for that data element. Then the next is enterprise. Data element with enterprise reference data set will be available only for the business unit with reference data set as enterprise for relevant data element. And the last is custom. Custom reference data set serves the same purpose as enterprise data set, only difference in the enterprise is seeded. Reference data set provided by Oracle and custom reference data set is created by user as required. So these are the three types of reference data set. So what we will do next, we will go to the application and we will see how we can create a reference data set and how we can assign the same to the business unit. So let's move to the application now. So I have already logged into the application. So let's go to settings and actions. Go to setup and maintenance. So application is working a little bit slow. Okay, so now we need to give a setup here as financials and search for the task manage reference data set. Now search. So here it is, manage reference data set. Go to this task. Now for already created reference data set, you can search it from here like you can see here all the reference data set already created. You can see common set, enterprise set, and you can see the rest like progress US department set and all. These are the custom one. And this is UK location set. We have also seen in the our PPT as well. So for creating a new one, these are already created. For creating a new one, just click on this add icon. Now what you can do is you can give a set code like I'm giving here as Fusion. Say location only. Fusion location. Give a set name. Giving the set name as Fusion location set. If you want to add any description, you can add. I'm just giving the same description as I have given the set name. Fusion location set. After creating this, just save and close. Now the next thing which we are going to do is we are going to assign this reference data set to the business unit. So how you can do that? For assigning a reference data set to a business unit, there is a one more task with the name manage business unit set assignment. So we are going to search for the task here. So here you can see the task manage business unit set assignment. In scope, you can see US one business unit is coming. It is very important that in your scope, the required business unit for which you are assigning the reference data should be visible. How we can create a business unit in a Oracle Fusion, we will cover that separately. Now, as we are focusing on the reference data sets, I'm just moving to how we can assign the reference data set to a business unit. And the next further section, I mean, in the upcoming session, we can cover the business unit creation as well. So right now just clicking on this task to see the assignment of the reference data set. So here you can see reference data object, reference data set code, reference data set name is coming. So as we have created the reference data with the name of the fusion location, so what you can do, you can search for the reference data object for the location. So scroll down a little bit below, you can see there are various objects available. So here it is, you can see locations. So you can just select this locations. You can see already one reference data set with the name of US LOSC. US location set has been given to this reference data object. So for giving the one which we have created, just click on this LOV. Now just search for the one which we have created. Let's see whether it is visible here or not. So we have created with the name Fusion. So here it is Fusion location which we have created just now. Just select it and say OK. You can see our reference data set we have assigned to the US1 business unit here. After assigning the same, you can just save and close, and the assignment will be done. But right now I'm canceling because I don't want this fusion location. I want my US location only, but you can go for save and close. So we have seen how we can create a reference data set in the application and how we can assign the same to the business unit as well. Now we will go for our next topic is defining an enterprise. So as we have seen in our PPT, an enterprise structure introduction, the first thing is enterprise. So let's talk about the enterprise. So define enterprise. So what is an enterprise? An enterprise is a collection of legal entities sharing common control and management. Every enterprise has three fundamental structures that describe its operations and provide a basis for reporting, like legal, managerial, functional. In Oracle Fusion, these structures are implemented using the charts of counts and organization hierarchies. Many alternative hierarchy can be implemented and used for reporting. You are likely to have one primary structure that organizes your business into division, business unit, and department. It is the repetition of the same thing which we have already covered in the introduction of the enterprise structure. So it is the same. It's talking about that first thing is enterprise, and there is a division, then there is a primary ledger, legal entity, business unit, and depending upon these all factors, you need to create or determine your hierarchy starting with the enterprise first. Fine. So here is the one more diagram for the better understanding of the concept of enterprise. So here is the enterprise, and under enterprise there are two business groups with the name in the country USA and Malaysia. Then there is a set of books like under USA there is HNW and there is FM. Then in Malaysia there is a company tree. So this is a set of book. Under this there is a legal entity like under HNW there are two legal entity LE1 and LE2. Under FM there is LE3. Then under company 3 there is LE4 and LE5. Then after legal entity there is operating unit. Operating unit you can say it is a business unit. Then after business unit there is inventory organization with the warehouse A, B name, and under warehouse there are some inventories as well. So this is the more descriptive view of the enterprise structure with the flow in it of the enterprise structure. Like first starting with the enterprise, and if you want, you can create division, then there will be a primary ledger, then there will be legal entity, then there will be operating unit or business unit, then inventory organization, and then there will be sub-inventories as well. So this is the much elaborated diagram for the understanding of the enterprise. Now, when implementing Oracle Fusion application, you operate within the context of an enterprise that has already been created in the application for you. Fine. So basically, this is already created in the application. Like we are talking about the enterprise from the point of view of the financials. Fine, but these are the configuration, these enterprise structures configuration, or we can say particularly this enterprise creation is done by the HCM team, right? So this is either a predefined enterprise or an enterprise that has been created in the application by a system administrator. An enterprise organization captures the name of the deploying enterprise and the location of the headquarters. In Oracle Fusion applications, an organization classified as an enterprise is defined before defining any organization in the HCM Common Organization module. All other organizations are defined as belonging to an enterprise. Fine. So, enterprise information for non-HCM user is like the manage enterprise HCM information task includes default setting for your enterprise such as employment module, worker number generation, and so on. If you're not implementing Oracle Fusion Human Capital Management, that is HCM, then the only action you may need to perform using this task is to change the enterprise name if necessary. The other settings as HCM specific and aren't relevant outside of Oracle Fusion HCM. So I am talking about the enterprise for the non-HCM user. Basically, it's the HCM team who do the configuration of the enterprise by using the task managed enterprise HCM information. And for non-HCM user, you can change the name of the enterprise if necessary, and rest the setting you can use it as determined by the HCM team. Fine, so let's go to the application and we will navigate to the manage enterprise HCM information and see how the things are placed there by the HCM team. So let's go to the application. So the task name is manage enterprise HCM information. So search for the same. So you can see manage enterprise HCM information. Just select the task. Here it is, manage enterprise HCM information. So here it is. You can see everything is already defined here in the enterprise. Enterprise name is Intel India. If you want to edit, you can edit here. Just select this option. You can update, correct, or delete the record. And rest of the configuration like enterprise description, what is the start date, name, status, then the other workday information, enterprise information, which contain other information in it related to enterprise and currency support information, user and role provisioning information. All this thing is already configured here by the HCM team, and I'm talking from the point of view of non-HCM user. So this configuration is basically done by the other team, that is HCM team. So we, as a financial purpose persons, do not require any configuration to do here. Fine, if you want, you can add it, but rest is done or taken care by the HCM team only. So for the navigation purpose, I have shown that how it is done in the application. The task is manage enterprise HCM information, which can be used to configure the enterprise in the application. So this is the first thing which we configure. Fine, and the most important thing. Now after the enterprise, let's talk about the manage locations. So in the Fusion, we also need to create an locations. Just a second. Okay, fine. So let's go back to the PPT. So now we are going to talk about the managed location of the enterprise after the enterprise. So location in Oracle Fusion. A location defines physical addresses of a workforce structure, such as a department, business unit, or inventory organization. The location that you create exists as separate structure that you can use for reporting purpose. We enter information about the location only once. Subsequently, when you set up other workforce structure, you select the location from a list. We can also create location to enter the addresses of external organizations that we want to maintain, such as employment agency, tax authorities, and insurance or benefits carriers. So this is how location is important in Oracle Fusion. Now reference data set for location, which we have already covered in the concept when we were discussing about the reference data sharing, we have already covered this concept of reference data set for location. So as we have already seen that there is a common reference data set for location, and we can also create a custom reference data set for location as well. So custom reference data set for location can be created as per enterprise requirement, and only those users who have access to the sets business unit can access the custom location IDS. Fine, and for the common reference data for location, it is provided by Oracle Fusion application as default option as it is seeded, as we have already discussed in the reference data concept, and users can have access the location irrespective of their business unit. So it is a commonly available for all the business unit here. So this is already covered, and this is the diagram which we have seen in the reference data set. Let's talk about the user having the access to the UK business unit, and UK business unit is assigned with the UK location set. This is the custom reference data set which is assigned to the business unit containing the three location, and it is London, Oxford and Cambridge. And other than that, this user is also assigned with the common set which contain the location Tokyo, Paris and Berlin. So it have access to these locations. This user have access to this location by using the reference data set. Fine. Now for creating this location in the instance, let's talk about that. So for creating the location in the Oracle Fusion in the instance, there are two things which you can use. You can do it manually, or you can use a spreadsheet. That is known as spreadsheet through rapid implementation. So for manually, you can go just to the task, manage location task, and we can create and manage location using the manage location task in the financial offering in the implementation project. We can use this option to manage the location if we have limited number of locations like one or two or three. We can go for manually. For rest, we have a list. You can go for the spreadsheet one, like spreadsheet through rapid implementation. We can create and manage location using the spreadsheet through rapid implementation. We can use this option to manage the location if we have list of location already defined for our enterprise, then we can upload them from a spreadsheet, right? So let's quickly move to the application and let's see how we can create the manual by just adding one by one location, and how we can also upload the same by using the spreadsheet. Fine, so let's go to the application. So here in the set of financials, we are going to search for the task, manage location. So here it is, manage locations. Go to this task, manage locations. So for creating a new, just click on this add icon. Now here you can see the basic details are coming. It is taking effective start date, then location set. It is taking as common set. If you want any specific custom reference data set, you can go for that. Location set or common set is nothing but the reference data set which we have talked a lot in our PPT, and we have seen also how we can create the same. So this is that only. So it is defaulting here. Status is active. I'm just going to fill the mandatory fields and talk about the mandatory fields in this location creation. So first is the name. So you can give any name to your location, like I'm giving UK location fusion. Okay, fusion. So if you want to code, you can go for UK. Same location fusion. Fine. If you want to add any inventory organization or give any attachment, you can go for it. But as I said, I'm going to talk about the mandatory fields only. Rest is depends upon the business users whether they require other information to get filled or not. Now the next is the address. So I'm going to search for the port. Country is coming US. Okay, you can search for any other. Also, okay, let's use United States only. Make it for US only. Fine. So US location fusion. Country United States. Going to the zip code directly. Search. So as we are practicing, I'm searching with the code starting with 6 and I will take any random address. But while creating a location, you need to be very specific about the address. You need to give a correct address here. It's taking time. Okay, so here's the list. So let's take anyone. So let's take any one of it for our example. Since it's very slow today. Okay, let's just take this address. Say okay. So you can see the required mandatory fields are already filled with the zip code selected and let's give the address one line as US. Address line one only. As I'm practicing, I'm giving the random name and random address. but it's depend upon the users. It will give us the proper location with the address. We need to fill that here. Fine, rest is not very important and mandatory to fill. This is the basic information, name, code, and the address. Rest information differ to business users to business users. What they want to fill in here, the extra information. Fine. So in my case, it is not required. I'm just using the basic details to create my location. And after giving all these things, you can just submit it. So request will be submitted. Do you want to continue? Say yes. So it's done. Fine. So our location is created manually. So for that, how we have created the location, we have gone to this create icon, we have clicked on this and we have filled the required basic information and we have submitted the same. So the next way to create a location is to use the spreadsheet. But as I have logged in with the user which do not have a HCM roles, so for this setup, we require HCM roles. So I'm just changing my user for that, and then I will show how you can create a location by using a spreadsheet. Just signing out and signing in quickly with the user having the HCM role. Okay, so I've logged in as HCM. I am here. Now going to settings and actions. Go to setup and maintenance. Go setup financial. Search for task. Manage location. The same navigation which we have done before for creating it manually. That's without using spreadsheet. Manage location task. Go to manage locations. Okay, so manage in spreadsheet. Just click on this. Spreadsheet will get downloaded. Open the same. let's go to the downloads. Now open the spreadsheet. So it will ask, do you want to connect? Say yes. Let's see, IMPL, password, connect. So just fetching the information. So here it is. So you can see template name already coming, location, supported action, create an update, and business object location. This is already coming. The first thing which we need to do here is just click on this create data set. Okay. The data set has been created successfully. So let's go to here. You can see here location is coming. Now what we will do, we will fill all the mandatory information. Find like effective date. I'm taking as today date only, today's date only. Fine. This only. Right. Set code. Just double click on it. And you can take a set code here. Like I'm taking say US 1 business unit set code or US location set code as my set code here. It is nothing but the reference data set only. Fine. Now give a active status. Then give a location code. Like I'm giving here USA code. Then give a location name. Giving USA location fusion name. Fine. Now the next employee location description, these are not mandatory. Now country, just double click on it. Select your required country. Here it is United States, say okay. So here you can see only countries are coming as a mandatory field. Rest address is not mandatory. So if you want, you can add, and best practice is to add only, but As we have seen already in the manual creation, how we can add address. I'm not adding here. Rest information is not required in my case. Now the next thing will be, after giving all the information, next thing is to go to this more option and upload this spreadsheet. Here your status should come successful. Okay, upload options on failure, continue upload subsequent rows or download all rows after unsuccessful upload. We have given only one row here, but if we are adding subsequent rows like more than one rows, then this option is relevant. Like on failure, do you want to continue with the other rows or you want to stop for all? So just say okay. So you can see row inserted successfully. So by using this spreadsheet, you can add a location to the application. So this is how you can create location in the application. So in today's session, we have covered, like we have started with the enterprise structure introduction, that there is an enterprise and what is the hierarchy for it. Like first is enterprise, then there is a division which is optional element, then there is a primary ledger, then there is a legal entity, then business unit, and then inventory organization. So this was a flow which we have seen, and we have talked about the reference data set, how it is created, and how it is assigned to the business unit. Business unit creation will be covered in the separate session. Then after that, we have also seen the first and topmost thing in the enterprise structure is the enterprise, that it is done by the HCM team. And for non-HCM user, you can just visit and navigate and see and edit the same if required by using the task manage enterprise HCM information. And at the last, we have seen the locations, that how we can create a locations in the instance by manual creation, and as well as we have seen how we can use the spreadsheet for it. So we have covered this topic for today. So this is all for today, and thanks for watching.